All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going over core now, jumping into bridges, what other people call planks as well. So we're going to look at a lot of different variations in regard to doing bridges, okay? And so we're going to be focusing in on our core doing these bridges. We have front bridge, side bridge, and also back bridge, okay? The side bridge will cover both sides of our body. But we'll do a number of different variations in regard to these, okay? So the first one, dealing with the front bridge, okay? Standard front bridge, we're gonna get down on the ground. So if you have a mat that you use, yoga mat, or even a mat like this one, cushion mat, where you're able to get down, get your body on the floor. Our standard front bridge is basically gonna be ourselves on our forearms here, okay? Feet are gonna be out. Okay, and we're going to go hips up, okay, and when we go hips up off the ground, that begins our count, okay. So normally if you have somebody counting for you, it's a good thing. Somebody's running a timer for you, or if you're running a timer on your cell phone yourself, you want to run it for a specific amount of time. Now obviously I'm going to designate how much time you're going to be doing each bridge for, and the number of cycles or reps that you're going to be doing in regard to these. But when you look at the front bridge like I was just doing, the biggest thing is to try to keep your body in line as much as possible, okay? There's going to be a bunch of tension, obviously from you firing the muscles in your hips, your abdomen, your back, to obviously keep your body in a straight line, okay? Now, one of the things that we did in regard to our first exercise in regard to working core, and to a degree, a lot of people don't realize that you're working your core when you're doing a walk-up. So just like when we were doing walk-ups before, okay, and working our triceps and getting up off the ground, okay, we're actually firing our core as well too, okay. Now that's also getting to the top of the walk-up, another position in regard to doing a front bridge, okay. So you can normally do them with either forearms on the ground, forearms and elbows on the ground, or you can do it fully extended, okay, with your body being out, okay, or your arms being fully extended, holding this plank position, generally a push-up position, firing your abdomen and your hips and your back, working on your core, doing it timed out, okay. It's kind of a little bit like a yoga position, okay, holding that pose for a particular amount of time. Just like doing the regular front bridge, okay, so you have the option of doing that a lot of times. Another thing in regard to doing the front bridge, okay, we can also do single leg front bridges, okay, so we get on our front bridge, we hold one leg up off the ground, okay, then we'll switch, hold another leg off the ground, and obviously that'll be for particular amounts of time or counts that you'll hold one leg off the ground. So you may go 5 seconds with one leg off the ground. After the 5 seconds, you'll put it down, lift the other one for 5 seconds, and you may be doing a 30-second bridge, okay? And so you may alter those, okay? Another thing that we could do in regard to our front bridge variation is do what's called a march, okay? So we up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we'll continue alternating the whole time, okay? So you'll continue firing your core. Balance will be very important because now you're going to end up being on one foot, okay, at different times, and you'll keep alternating in regard to the march. Okay, another thing that we could do in regard to our front bridge is do it what's called a knee tuck, okay? So we can bring our knee, tuck it in here, bring our knee up, tuck it in here, bring our knee up, tuck it in here, bring our knee up, tuck it in here, okay? And so now, not only are we firing our core and holding the position, but now we're incorporating another move, which is going to require us to fire our core in different ways, okay? In particular, our abdomen. So those are the different variations of doing a front bridge, okay? Now let's move into a side bridge, okay? And side bridges, are generally standard bridges, okay? So we're going to end up starting off working on our forearm, being on our forearm and our elbow, okay?
On the hips up call, we're going to get our hips off the ground. We can either put our hand on our hip here, hold it straight up in the air. Okay? But we want to keep our bodies in line, straight in line, as much as possible. Do not let our hips sag. Okay? These are always good to have a partner when you're doing them with, so that they can watch your hips. Make sure you're keeping your body in line, because if we start sagging our hips as we begin to get fatigued, a lot of times we don't realize it. So we need a partner to tell us, hey, get your hips up, hips up, hips up, so we can try and get our bodies back in line, okay? Now we can obviously do that, that's the standard one. We can obviously do the single arm one, which basically takes us to the same type of pose that we're doing like when we're doing T push-ups, holding a T here, okay? Which are a little bit more tougher, and keeping your body in line, keeping your hips up. Those are a little bit tougher. So we'll hold those for particular counts as well too. And then we also have what's called a split. Okay, so when we do our variation on the side bridge, we can do what's called a split. Okay, so we'll go hips up, we're up, hand on our side, and we can go split. So we'll split our legs, hold our legs open and split for a period of time. Okay, that also causes us to fire a little bit more of our core. Fire our hips a little bit more, because now we're having to keep that leg up and separated from our other leg. Okay, and so we'll do it on one side like we did, and then we'll switch arms. We'll do it on the other side in regard to doing our side bridges. Next variation, or next bridge exercise is going to be our back bridge. Okay, and with our back bridge, and so it's also referred to as a standard glute bridge. Okay, so we're going to arch our feet all the way up to our butts right here. Okay, and when we go hips up, again, our hands are down by our side over here by our butts. Do not put your hands underneath your butt. Keep our hands at our side. Okay, when we go hips up, our hips go up into the air. Okay, we drive them through the ceiling or through the sky if we're outside. Okay, we want to keep our bodies in line. Okay, and we're going to hold it. We're going to hold it for whatever the particular count is. Okay, one of the things you'll notice is you'll be firing your core, your abs, lower abs in particular will fire and begin to tighten up. But you'll also feel your glutes, okay, and a little bit of your hips begin to fire as well too, in regard to keeping your body up. Okay, so now other variations of this. Okay, so a couple of things that we could do. Okay, so we could do our standard one, right? And then we could also do one-legged ones. Okay, where we have our leg extended. Okay, we'll hold it in for a particular time. This will help to fire our lower backs a little bit more. So now we're firing our glutes, and then also in this right leg, holding this right leg up off the ground. Okay, we're going to feel our lower back right in here begin to fire a little bit more too, to keep the leg elevated. Okay, the single leg. Okay, and so then after that, we'll put our hips down. Okay, we'll start again. We'll do single leg on the opposite side. Hold it for whatever the particular count is. Okay, we'll go hips down. Okay, we'll put the foot down. Okay, now the next variation is what's called a march. Okay, so we're going to march our feet back up to our butts. Okay, we're going to go hips up. Okay, and we're going to march. We're going to slowly bring our knees up while trying to keep our bodies in line and continue to do this march. Okay, and so that too will create a different workout for us in regard to dealing with our lower body, incorporating that into doing our core as well too. One of the things that we'll move on to down the line as we progress with dealing with these bridges is we'll move into hip thrusts. Okay, so we'll take these bridges, we'll break them down, in particular the side bridges and the back bridge, and we'll actually collapse our hips and then actually fire them and fire ourselves into place. Collapse, fire ourselves into place. Okay, but we're not there yet. When we get to that, we'll start doing that, and we'll actually incorporate using some weight with that. All right, so those are bridges. Very important, in a very important part of getting our core, begin to firing that, trimming down, and actually helping our posture as well in doing that stuff. Okay. See you next time.